I don't know the rules. They have OTAs and they have certain little camps, but I guess you could just show up and, work with the guys and study film and do all those sort of things. And apparently he's doing all of those behind the scenes things that you expect of quarterbacks.
Well, especially young quarterbacks, right? I think the knock on him was he didn't put a lot of time in off the field, but now you're hearing it's different, and I think that's excellent for him. And if you're a Redskins fan and you're pro Dwayne Haskins, you certainly want to see the development. So it's good that he's working outside of Ashburn.
We haven't heard that much from Ron Rivera and whether he truly is excited about him, but it seemed like Doug Williams, who's now in the job title of Senior VP of Player Development, it seemed that he was indicating that Ron Rivera is sold on Dwayne Haskins as well.
Yeah, but I mean, one of Williams' quotes from just this past week warning Dwayne Haskins not to, quote, gallivant all over the place this offseason, that raises a few red flags to me.
But it's a warning. He's not saying that he is.
Okay, well, why is he putting it out there if he potentially isn't? That's what I would be concerned about. Maybe his head is in the right space. I like the fact that he's gathering up some of the receivers and doing off-season workouts with them in Florida. That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Haskins, hopefully he knows now that it shouldn't be news that he's in the building every day. But don't you think Matt Ryan and Drew Brees and Cam Newton when he was healthy, aren't those guys in the building every day? That's not news.
I would assume.
That's standard operating procedure, is that you're there every day to try to get better and improve.
If Dwayne Haskins isn't there every day, you're going to see it on the field.
Certainly.
And he won't be the starter very long.
Right.
So it's up to him.
But, I mean, all signs are that that's what he's doing. I'm saying I would be encouraged by this news. Because you don't hear that much news about what guys do in the offseason, and they can go and do whatever the heck they want. I don't think Tom Brady's going to New England's facilities every day. He has his little camps. I watch TB12. He invites the guys to a location and throws the ball with them and does his own kind of thing. And you're right. Maybe he's doing that using that phrase, gallivanting around, is kind of a warning, because Williams also went on to say that he's been in the building every day.
Well, but in Tom Brady's second year in the league, he might have been.
Yes.
That's what we don't know. By the way, Kyle Smith was asked about the trade scenarios, right? Because the Skins are there at 2, and who knows what, Joe Burrow's going to go. At 95%, Joe Burrow's going to go one of the Bengals.
Right after we had that hypothetical discussion, literally a half an hour after we had the hypothetical discussion, well, what if Burrow
said, I'll play for the Bengals.
He said, I'll play for whoever drafts me.
Right, so he shut that up real quick. All right, so Kyle Smith was asked about the trade scenarios. He said, quote, trade scenarios, we'll talk through all that stuff. That's part of those 3, 4, 5 days leading up to the draft. We'll go through every scenario. We will go through every scenario of how far back we would go if that scenario came, or what if this team called and what do they have available. We'll go through all of those scenarios so that draft night, when those opportunities come, we'll be ready to roll. And I'm sure there'll be some teams that'll be interested in, depending on how Tua and Herbert look, those teams that are desperate for quarterbacks or other players, depending on how they look at the combine, will probably call the Skins. But
some of these top guys don't do things at the combine, though. It's kind of disappointing. So Chase Young isn't going to run. He's not going to do anything till his pro day. Kind of same thing for Joe Burrow, right? He's not going to throw at the combine.
No, they don't have to do that.
So they measured his hand, his height, got his measurables.
But the combine is still very interesting, because especially with the receivers and the DBs running. You want to see how fast those guys are. And tight ends as well. But, yeah, the top guys, they don't have to prove anything. They already know where they're going. By the way, the CBA is a huge deal, and we've talked about it. Now, this is from an article from R.J. White on CBSSports.com. He says, it appears the NFL and NFL Players Association could be nearing an agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement early Wednesday morning. That's today. NFLPA Assistant Executive Director of External Affairs, George Atala, who we know very well, he announced on Twitter that the Board of Player Reps voted to send the proposed CBA to the entire membership of players for a vote. They only need majority of the numbers to support it. and to ratify it. And, there were some
It
veterans.
seems like it's moving
There were some
fast.
veterans that came out, like J.J. Watt, Richard Sherman said, Leonard Fournette said no to this deal, but it only takes the majority to approve it. And that would be the 17-game regular season.
So they're sending
That
it
would be-
today?
I'm pretty sure it's today. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, it might take a while for them to vote on it. It might take a week. I don't know. I don't know how long it would take, but they're trying to get this in motion. They're not messing around. Both sides want a deal. That would be the 17-game regular season, right? That would be the cut down of padded practices from 28 to 16, which I think every player would love. That would be a cut down on the preseason games from 4 to 3.
But no extra
which
bye
most
week,
fans would
apparently.
love.
There's no extra bye week?
Says no extra bye week in the regular season.
Okay, I didn't know that. And then that would be an increased share of the revenue for the players going from 47% to 48% in the 16-game schedule, and then it would go up to 48.5% in the 17-game schedule. Now, I'm not sure if that 17-game schedule would be next year or the year after, but
I think if you're an NFL fan,
it's going to be here quick.
you want them to pass.
And then obviously the additional playoff teams.
right? If you're an NFL fan, you want them to pass this.
Oh, yeah, you want labor peace. Absolutely. You don't want that looming heading into like a lame duck type of year where there's – does it expire after the 2021 season
I
currently?
think it's 2021, yeah.
Yeah. You
And
want to get it
wasn't-
done.
And a lot of those TV contracts are also up after the 21 season.
Right.
So the owners want to get this deal going so they can say, hey, look, we got 10 years of a
Right.
deal. Let's negotiate a new TV contract, and the money goes up.